Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bird's Eye View, the true stories of professional overseas basketball. I'm your host, Erica McCall. We're back with episode 2. And quick updates about me. If you don't know me, first of all, I am a fifth-year professional basketball player of the WNBA. I play with the Washington Mystics currently, and I've also played 4 years of overseas ball in Hungary with the same team in Sexart. And quick life update. I'm actually going to a new team in Turkey, which is crazy for many people. They know me as the Hungarian basketball player. I've been with the same team, which is pretty rare in the overseas basketball world. And so I just felt it was time for a change. I absolutely love the city of Sexart, and I love what they brought to me. They were my family. I mean, I had sisters, I had people that I've known for 4 years there, and I'm super grateful for them. But it was time for change. So I'll be playing with Beşiktaş in Turkey. Still figuring out how to say the name. Hit me up in a couple of months when I get there, and I'll know how to pronounce everything correctly. But yeah, new life date up for me. And this is Bird's Eye View. Many people don't know. They call me Bird because my last name is McCall. So hence the name Bird's Eye View. We're here. And like I told you guys in the first episode, I wanted to bring this podcast because everywhere I go, people are always asking me, what's the overseas basketball experience like? You know, what's the food like? What's the traveling like? What's the basketball like? So I wanted to bring that podcast to you. So with each episode, we'll bring different topics. And with this topic, episode 2, we're focusing on relationships and what they're like with overseas basketball. And so I have a lovely couple here. My teammate, Cyesha Goree, we call her Cy. I played with her in Sexart. Hey. Played with her in Sexart last year in Hungary. She was a lovely teammate of mine. And I also have her wife, Jess Goree, here, who I've met when she came to visit out in Hungary. And I wanted to have them on because I love their relationship when they came out here. And I wanted everyone to get a little bit of a viewpoint of what it's like to be in a relationship when you have your spouse or significant other that plays overseas basketball. So welcome on, guys. Thanks for being on.
Hello. We're happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, absolutely. So if for those who don't know, Cy is a graduate of Michigan, okay? And she always reps it. She always had all her Michigan gear on when we were at practice, so which I loved. She's a 2-time All Big Ten second team winner. She played in Spain, she's played in Italy, and she's played in Hungary with 3 different teams in Hungary, correct? I think she's a little lagged. Yeah, you played in 3 different teams in Hungary, right? Correct? All right, cool. And she's also a member of the Hungarian national team as well as the 3-on-3 national team, which is pretty cool. I got to see her compete. She's really, really good. You guys check out 3-on-3. It's an amazing sport, and she's an amazing player of that sport. As well as she was the Eurobasket All-Hungarian Player of the Year back in 2016. So she's a well-decorated player, and I'm grateful to have her on the podcast. Jess here is, would you describe yourself as an entrepreneur? You're kind of
absolutely
a jack of all trades.
I am. Yes. I have my hairstyling license. Yes, I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 14 years. I graduated from Paul Mitchell. I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right.
I also have done CNA, which is I was under the LVNs, RNs, nurses for the company that I worked for. I also did leasing and property management.
Yes.
I own a boutique. I also currently have a lash line, cosmetics. I'm also a bartender. I am
Plug
everything,
yourself.
all of the above, a jack of all trades.
I love that. Well, thank you guys for being on. Before we get started in the interview, I like to play a little game with you guys just to get you guys loosed up and warm and get going for talking. So we're going to play an Overseas Newlywed game. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. So we're going to start with Jess. And so Jess, you'll say your answer, and then Cy, you'll say what you think that the answer is. Okay, so we'll break it down right here with this question. We'll start it off. So first question is, Jess, what is your favorite gift Cy brought to you back from overseas? So Jess, you'll state your answer, and then Cy, you'll state what you think her answer is. Want me to repeat the question? You got it?
No. I've gotten
Okay.
a few things.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh man, I know my wife. She always goes for the meaningful things. Maybe I don't need to talk. I don't need to bring up the big things, the materialistic things. Um,
No.
Do what you think. What's your favorite gift?
I'm gonna go with. I got it. I'm gonna think like you. I'm gonna go with the Hungarian jerseys.
Those are good gifts.
Who?
I'm gonna go with her jerseys.
Jerseys.
Yeah.
Cy, what's your answer?
My answer would be the Louis Vuitton boots that she got for Christmas.
I wanted to say that, but I just told Bird. I said I'm not gonna.
Like
Girl, do what you think.
Like
do what you think. That was your favorite gift. Say it.
I didn't hear you say think like me. I was trying to think sentimental wise, but we all know I like the boots the most out of everything.
Come on, Boots.
Yeah.
Come on, Boots. I like
That's
that.
exactly what was my first, but I didn't want her to.
I thought you were gonna say it.
I was, but I said if I know my wife, I gotta think like my wife. I'm gonna do the sentimental
because she
stuff.
asked you what is yours.
Yeah, your favorite gift.
Your favorite gift, not what do you think your wife would like that you brought back.
It's all right. That was a little warm up. It was a little warm up. We're good.
Okay, well, it's definitely the Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all on the same wave. Y'all on the same wave. Okay. Cy, this one's for you first. What is Jess's favorite country to travel to?
Greece. Mykonos.
Is that correct, Jess?
That is correct.
Yes. Come on. Okay. All right. Jess, this one.
Next though. So I think right now is Greece.
Right now it's Greece. Maybe you have a different answer in the future. Okay. Jess, this one's for you. This one's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I give you a toughie, but you know your woman. You're gonna get this right. How many points did Cy average last year?
49.
Wow.
My average.
Oh,
It's an average and not 3x3. We're going 5 on 5.
5 on 5. That's good. That is good.
Okay.
That is good. Good point out. Yes, 5 on 5 with sex art.
She knows I was thinking about 3x3.
Okay, with sex art.
I know that 49. Yep. Okay. Oh man.
I said, man, we barely got 60 points some games. What do you think?
I'm gonna say 30.
Oh, she is established you as a baller side. You said 30.
Yeah, like because I'm going by 3x3. If she did 49 and 3x3.
Oh, baby, listen, we go on 5 on 5. It's
5 on 5.
Points per game, each game. So
yes, points per game. Yes.
Oh, okay, per game. Oh,
score.
okay, I can do this one per game.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 12.
12. That is incorrect. It's 15. But
close.
Oh, don't underman. You went from 30 to 12.
Don't trick me.
It's all right. It's all right. That was a really hard question. And I should have specified 3 on 3. Or sorry, 5 on 5 versus 3 on 3 because I forgot she's a multifaceted woman. Okay, here we go. Here's the last question. Cy, what is Jess's favorite memory from being overseas with you?
I'm thinking of Jess's favorite memory. Now, I'll go when we're in the basketball season because in the off season is different. Mm-hmm. So when we're in a basketball season, I will probably say putting together our Christmas tree for Christmas, picking out the tree and putting the ornaments on there and doing declarations and everything.
Jess is nodding her head. Yes, that's correct.
Yes, that was our first Christmas together. Yes.
I love this. You guys are good. Good. Well, I'm glad I got you guys warmed up.
I'm wrong.
I gave you a really hard one though, Jess. So I'll give you that.
I can't keep up. I try to watch all her games, and it's just a lot. Being on these teams at once, 5 on 5, 3x3, and the Hungarian team itself, trying to watch them all and keep up is very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, completely understandable. I understand. Well, that was great. And I'm glad they got you guys a little warmed up so we can get right into the interview. So I want to know how you guys first met. What's the meeting? What was the meeting like? How'd you guys get together? What brought you guys together?
Go ahead, babe.
Give it to
You
me.
do it. You got the flow.
Like our first, like how we first met, or our first meeting together.
Let's do how you first met.
So I was at breakfast with my older sister,
Okay.
and I got this direct message on Instagram,
Okay.
and I seen it.
She's in the DMs.
Wasn't from somebody who followed me, and I kind of looked at it, and then I did look at it, but then I was curious, so then I looked at it, and she was like, "Hey, my name is Jess. My sister works with your mom, and think that we'll be good together." Those are exact words. So my thought, I read it, and I showed my older sister. I said, "Look at this. Like, what do you think of this?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "What's my mom's name?" You know, she's like, "Your mom's name is Tony. She works here." Da, da, da. I said, "Okay, well, I guess
You don't believe her.
So then, I was like, okay, well, let's see where this is going, So from there, I think I ended up giving her my number and was like, okay, we'll FaceTime and a little bit later once I leave throughout the day. And then we FaceTime, and then from there, it just went. And then I think she was in Columbus, Georgia, and I was out in Good, Arizona. And I think it was weeks later there to in Atlanta.
Okay.
Got an Airbnb, and we met up.
Cool.
I had my nephew with me, just to be on the safe zone. Tried to kidnap me. I had to make sure I had a little extra.
Got to make
bodyguard.
sure. Right.
I'm joking. We did good. We had a game night. We're both competitive people. Mm-hmm. She was always talking all this trash. We used to play games all the time. So we would play Connect Four. I won. She won all the time. Nice. Cool. My first time everything crashed. She introduced me. So watched the movies, and she fell asleep before me and my nephew. But I mean, it was a great evening.
I did.
After that, went back, stayed in touch. I was getting a relationship, and she was getting out of something. So at that time, exact moment, we were just trying to be friends. We didn't. Right. We were just kind of building a foundation. We were just kind of, figuring ourselves out at the same time, But when she approached me that she's not looking to date. She's looking to date, but she's not looking to be a girlfriend. She's like dating to marry. Right. So the whole time while we were dating, I could never call her my girlfriend. Right. Like it was just like, it was like we were friends until then. It was just like, okay, this is my fiance, this is my wife. Yeah, I never used the word ever throughout our whole encounter of 6 months of building. So after that, we went our separate ways, and then we met back up a few weeks later, and I went to Houston, and I met all her family. And then, right after Houston, she came to Arizona, met all my family, and everything just happened. When things are supposed to happen, it's easy. If things were just happening, it was the flow. It was a perfect flow. It was unraveling. It was the pandemic, but it was still time for this. It was time for that. And everything that you usually would do within a year or two wingspan of, okay, meet my family. Okay, then you meet my family. Okay, well, let's do it. We did that in 6 months. Right. So when it was time for me to go back overseas, we already established a solid bond, a foundation, trust, honesty, loyalty, to where the hardest thing for us was just being apart at that moment. Absolutely. How to love from a distance now.
Go ahead, Jess.
For me, it still is hard. When she said the hardest moments is us being apart, it still is hard for me right now. I work so much, as you can see my face. I just got off of work at 5 because I can't sleep without her. So I just drown myself in work all day.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think, one of the hardest parts of being overseas absolutely is being away from each other. But if you don't establish that trust, that bond that you have beforehand, it can get very, very hard because you're not in constant communication with them. You're not seeing them. So it can be very tough. So I applaud you guys on building that bond because I know that can be very hard. when you're first going overseas, in the first part of a relationship. And so with Jess, did you know when you first met Cy that she, how established she was as a basketball player and that you knew she was going to be going overseas and that was a part of her job? Like, how did you put that into your mindset that that was going to be a part of your guys' relationship and bond?
Well, I'm going to keep it 100. My
Please.
sister told me about her playing ball, and my first mindset was like, nah, I'm good. I had knew about Cy before I DM'd her.
Right.
So when my sister first brought her up, I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to deal with any of that. Because my mindset was just like on marriage. Like,
right.
I really, like, my next girlfriend has to be my wife. I'm 34 years old. I just don't want to play anymore. So
absolutely.
When I found out her career is basketball, I wasn't checking for that. But then my sister brought her up more than once. And then the third time is when I went ahead and said, okay, you know what? She's brought her up 3 times. Third time is a charm.
Yeah.
Don't go to her Instagram and look and see what I could see. So she got Instagram and I went all the way from the beginning to the end just to kind of try to figure her out as a person first.
Right.
Because I'm I'm a self-made woman. I'm very independent. Her career, what she got going on, like, it didn't make me be like, oh, she's a basketball player. I didn't really give a care, honestly. So when I DM'd her, I was like, okay, she seemed pretty cool. We FaceTimed like within 2 hours of me DMing her. So it was fairly quick.
I love that. I love FaceTiming.
I know, right? As the way things are, like with catfishing and stuff, like, you never know. I need to make sure you sound like you sound.
Yep.
I need it all.
Yep.
That's true. And like I said, with her, being a basketball player, I didn't really know what we were gonna really do. But the more I loved her, the more I became fond of her. I was like, I'm willing to do this.
Right.
I'm okay with long distance relationships because I've dated, before in the past, someone who we lived together, but they were in the army. So they were gone at certain times. So I was used to distance. But as, we grow right now and we be apart and we're married now, I do hate the distance more so now than I ever did before.
I already know. Long distance, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. So how do you guys manage that? Like, how do you guys communicate? Because I know when I was in a relationship, we try to communicate as much as possible, when they're at work, when, about to go to sleep, when I'm about to go to sleep, you try to talk as much as possible. So how do you guys do that?
I have my moments where I throw tantrums, like I pick little random fights with her because I miss her or I'm not getting attention, whatever. Like, I'm mad about the fact that I hadn't talked to her all day, knowing she had a game, knowing that she had practice. But I mean, it's just me being a woman,
But of course.
But I could understand though, because like sometimes like our days be long, and especially
so long.
if we got those 2 practices. It's
so
like
tiring.
It's like you wake up after practice, you got lunch, and you have like maybe 3 hours to even nap before your next practice. And if you don't nap right away, you don't get a nap, and you're going to be tired through practice. It's like from the time you wake up until like after that practice, until you make a dinner, like your day is like a schedule, and you have to abide by it. So then it's just like, for her, like, luckily, when she works, her times is like when I'm, waking up, she's getting off of work, so I can kind of fit in a quick 2-minute while I'm getting ready and she's, getting ready for bed and I'm getting ready to go my day. And then like while I'm throughout my day, she's sleeping. But then after, like, if she's up, like she can't sleep, I'll call her when I'm about to nap. Okay, I'm about to nap. You nap it with me, or we gonna talk a little bit, and then so then we'll get that in, and then I'll call her again at night, which is when I'm done with my practice, and that's when she's about to start her day. So then it's like, if I had a bad day, like the other day, I had a bad day and I didn't want to talk. So it was just like, all right, well, she's like, I see you had a bad day. I'm just going to go. And I'm like, to me, it's easy to be like, okay, because it's 9, 10 o'clock out here, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But for her, it might be harder because that okay, but she still got her whole day just to go off that okay, good night.
Yep.
You know, so for me, it's 3 o'clock at night and I'm sleeping. But for her, it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and she's like, damn, like who I'm supposed to talk to or what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So it is tough.
My mom
gotta find
like he would be on FaceTime for that second when she's like, okay, I'm about to go. And then I just bust out crying. Cause I have these moments and then she was like, cry. But it's just I get teary-eyed because I have had my wife home.
Right.
I have missed her being here with me on a day-to-day basis. And for her, and normally with me crying, it happens within the first 2 months of her being gone, first 2, 3.
You still have to adapt.
I get used to it again.
Yep.
But the first 2, 3 months, I'm a crybaby. I ain't lying. Like I cry like out of the blue. I'm trying not to cry on the podcast, child.
Well, I appreciate you for being on. I know this is tough, but I know at least I'm allowing you guys to speak amongst each other. It's another time for you guys to speak together. So I understand when I was in a relationship, and I didn't even think about that side. When I was in a relationship, I would be like, man, I just don't want to talk right now. It was a long day. We had a 2-a-day. My coach just yelled at me. It's a long day. I feel like talking, but I'm not thinking about, my significant other and what their feelings are. And they still have to go throughout their whole day without talking to us. So
it's easier.
It's over.
I ain't gonna mess with me. But then like in your head, like they got their whole day, their whole evening to like not have you.
Yeah. So what's the time difference between you guys? So everyone knows listening.
6 hours.
6 hours. It's tough. It's tough. And back at home, my family's in Cali, and that's 9 hours. So
yeah, my family's in Arizona, so it's 9.
Yeah, communicating it. You have to find those little pockets to where you guys' schedules both match up, and you got to figure it out.
We actually do go. We do have a pretty good schedule. When I'm getting off at 4 a.m, she's waking up for practice. So I'm driving home from work, and she's on the phone with me, and she talks to me for a good 30 minutes, and then I'm ready to shower and go to sleep. So while she's practicing, I'm asleep. She come home from practice, I'm still asleep.
Yeah.
Because I need to do my whole 6 hours of sleep before I start my night again. I normally get up and move around. Like I might get up and go to the bank or run some errands around 12 noon. Then I'm ready for a nap when she's coming around 3 because I go to work for 8 at night.
You guys figure it out. It sounds very complex, but you figure it out. You have to make it work.
We do.
Yeah. So I love that. And just going into spending time with each other, how's it like spending holidays when you guys are away from each other and when you guys get to be with each other as well?
Oh man.
Start from how's it like being away?
Away is very empty for me because I do have children from a previous relationship, but they're older, so they're with their dad for holidays. It's always been like that. So I normally spend holidays with my partner and their family.
Okay.
So it's hard for me because she's away. Then I have no one. So I'm here in Atlanta alone for holidays. Every holiday, except for Christmas, because I come over there.
Yeah.
This holiday, I think I'm gonna come for Thanksgiving.
Yes, me and Cy made Thanksgivings. You got to cook for the team because me and Cy made a Thanksgiving feast for the team. And
I'm definitely
Thanksgiving is only popular in America and a little bit of Canada. So yeah, you got to come out. You got to cook it up, please.
I will.
For me,
I will.
I wouldn't say it's easier for me, but it's more manageable because I'm used to being away from my family I haven't been home even in like 11 years. Like even in college, I never got to go because we always did some tournament or we was in Puerto Rico or we was you know what I'm saying? For me, I haven't been home for Thanksgiving in 10 years, so I don't really look forward to that holiday. And Christmas, it's a hit or miss, but I like you say, I've adapted to be European. So for me, like I love to spend Christmas in Europe because it's different. Like we were in Budapest, or this year we're planning on having Christmas in Paris, so
beautiful.
I'm kind of trying to make my own tradition to where every Christmas we spend it in a different country.
It's Europe.
I love that.
Which is always the goal. So
yeah, I don't think people understand how difficult it is for us players. I know it's so difficult for Jess, but me being on the player side, you know, we're constantly away from our friends and family for all significant holidays. I mean, everything. Last year was my first year being away for Christmas, and it was really, really hard for me. My family
Yes,
does
it's
Christmas
hard.
big. It's so
Mine
hard.
too. Mine
Yeah.
too.
You know, when
Like,
you do it
yeah.
big, it's tremendously hard because you're so used to them, their presence, and you know, the food, even the food alone. Like you gotta sometimes eat McDonald's for Christmas. Only thing that's open out there and overseas because all the stores are closed, or you got to try to fix up something. Yeah.
And my wife is not
Yeah,
used to that kind of stuff. So I try to explain to her how important holidays are for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, babe,
I'm used
well,
It's been a
babe, you
while.
always be
Like,
like,
growing
well,
up as a child, you had it. But
yeah,
since I've
I'm
been
talking about
playing
as you're,
professional,
yeah, I'm talking about as you, let me clarify that. I'm saying since you've been playing, it doesn't bother you or fade you really like it does me. I mean, sometimes you may have your moments where you're like, I wish I could go home for Thanksgiving, but it's not like you're not
it's just
used
when
to
I
it,
see
as
that
you
food,
said. But
whenever
me,
I be posting that food, I'm like, I don't want to play. That's it.
right.
That's really
But
hard.
but since you've been playing, you just kind of be like, okay, it's just another day. But for
Yeah,
me, it's like, no, babe, this is our first Christmas.
I think
We
I
gotta
seen
do
somebody
this.
post something, kind of reposted it on Instagram. This guy and how like we became like so accustomed to being over in Europe and being comfortable being ourselves. Like when you
Yeah.
get around people, like it's hard, it's annoying, you know. Like
Yes.
we've
Yes.
learned to just what like especially when you're in a very like a place that you know like in Hungary for instance, or like you know most people go to Russia, or you know other people go to Korea or stuff like that, where the culture is very strong and different. You have
Yes.
no choice but to be alone.
Yes.
And you just love so much of what it's like to be alone that when you're around people, you're just like, I don't want this. Like this is not, you know.
I struggle with that a lot. When my friends come and stay with me, it's very hard for me to adapt to being around people, having people in my space.
Your
It's
space.
very hard. It's very hard to adjust.
I'm a loner too. I don't like a lot of people in my space. Like I've been living here by myself. Like people come and visit. I'm like, okay, now it's time to go. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I need my space.
Yeah. We are alone constantly, you know, being overseas and you're alone, you know, just your own lifestyle that you choose to have, you know, to be alone by yourself. And so when you have people all up in your space again, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, because my wife, we live together, and my wife will be in the living room. She loves being on the sofa, watching TV or playing the game, and I'm in the bedroom watching a movie.
Yeah.
And we're in the same home, but in our own space. I close the double doors.
I
She's
need that
over
relationship.
there.
I need that.
And we text. We text and we're in the same house. She'd be like, babe, what are you doing? I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you watching? So we're communicating, but we're just in the separate. I just know we buy our first home, we probably will be spaced out. Like I know it. She wants a man cave, so I'm sure she'll be.
We'll watch movies together, but if we have different shows we're watching, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go play the game. And then she's like, are you still playing the game? You ain't gonna come in here and say you miss me. I'm like, you can come on the couch. It's a big couch.
I love it. Well, what are the experiences like when you guys are together? When you do come over to overseas, Jess, what has that been like for you?
Oh,
and
I love it.
how do you guys adapt
it.
to that? Yeah.
I actually love being in Europe. If it wasn't for, you know, the kids that my kids from my previous relationship,
right,
and like my dog, you know, and the stuff that we built here, I would live there already.
Okay.
Because I miss her so much. I just know that we have stuff here that I have to take care of. So I can't just leave. But as soon as my son goes to college, I'm out.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Yeah. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but there are some relationships where someone's spouse travels over to wherever their country is and they live with them and they live a lifestyle out there in the other country. But it's really hard when you have a completely other life in the States. It's hard to just drop everything and move with your significant other. So I can imagine that's very difficult for you. But when you do get to come over, that
I love it.
The joy. Yeah.
I love Europe. My wife used to talk about Europe so much. And then now that I've gotten a taste of it, now I talk about it so much. Like
you do. I see it on Insta.
I do. I do. Because what people don't understand is like being around a lot of you guys' Hungarian friends. I realized that they don't worry about the stuff that our
They
friends here worry about.
They
They
don't.
don't stress about the stuff that we stress about. And when they do stress or go through stuff, you never know it.
Yeah.
Like when we're hungry, like when y'all have y'all stuff with the coach, like playing and stuff like that, a hard day of getting yelled at or whatever, like everybody just seemed like nothing ever happened. Out here, do you know, we're at work and our boss goes off. We like talking about it, upset about it in the office, yelling like it's chaos. Everything is about money here. Like, you know, there is just smooth. We wake up, we eat, we gonna eat and go to bed. Like we do what we gonna do. We literally
like first
spend
world problems.
time and hungry in the house. Here, we always got to find something to do. Babe, let's go do this. Babe, let's go do that. Let's go spend this amount of money. But when we're out there, it's carefree. We don't spend a lot of money. We make it our own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the hardest for me is that transition to where you go from living in Europe at a slow paced life.
Yes.
Drinking coffee, walking, like the time doesn't matter. It's like you're not wasting time when you're in Europe. But then when I go home, like it's good for the first week because you're seeing everybody, and then after that first week passes, it's draining. It's like you feel like you have to be doing something. If you're not doing something, you feel like you're lazy. The world is like constantly just going and going, and it's like I just like can't catch my breath, and then I become very irritable. I become annoyed. I just want to be alone. Sometimes I shut down. Sometimes I be quiet. Sometimes I go for a walk because it's just like too much. Like I feel like I'm a tourist in my own country at times.
I completely agree. Completely agree with every time. Go ahead. Yeah. Every time I try and do that, make that transition, it's always very hard for me. I'm a very spiritual person, and my relationship with God just seems like I talk to him so much when I'm overseas because I have time. I have time to just go and think and walk and relax. And then when I come back over here in the States, everything's go, 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 go. And my time with him just drops drastically.
We're very spiritual too. Me and Sai are very spiritual.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Has that guys played an important role in your guys' relationship?
Yes. Because when I have my breakdowns and my moments, my wife goes, babe, God is doing it. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. You're worrying for nothing.
Love that.
God's going to take care of it.
It's weird, like the little times, like every time, like that's how I know it's like so the time is spaced out here. Like every time I sit down, you know, in America, you sit down, you just eat. Like when I sit down here, like I literally just lift my hands and I just like thank God for the meal. Like it's just like
that's good.
I don't like it's just crazy how time feels different over here. Like it's mind blowing.
No, I absolutely feel it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, your time with God just helps you bring everything into perspective, and so I completely understand that transition when you go out there.
I absolutely thank God. I needed my wife. I know I needed her. She has showed me and introduced me to so many things I never thought of or even thought or dreamt that I would even be seeing, doing, or thinking. Just the things I think about. She opens my mind to greatness for sure. So absolutely. I definitely love her, need her, value her opinion, value her as a person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see life without her for sure.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's what I was going to ask. Lastly, that was going to be my last question. Like, what are the benefits of having a spouse that plays overseas?
Her loving me like she does. Her just, you know, showing me that there is other options. I used to feel like, oh man, if this doesn't get done like this, or if I don't do this on time, or how this is how it's supposed to be, then what am I going to do now? And she's taught me that, hey, if this doesn't go that way, then you've got a plan B. You've got another option. Right. It'll happen for you when it's time. Like, but that comes from me being a single mom of raising two boys on my own. So I always felt like this got to be like this. Yes. I got to do this. I got two people depending on me. If this doesn't go right, then what do I do next?
Right.
And you got to remember, I was a teenager. I was 16 when I gave birth to my first kid. Yeah. And I was 19 when I gave birth to my second kid. So I've always put that pressure on myself. But when my wife came into my life, I am not rushing anymore. I'm not moving fast anymore. You know, I'm like today, I was like, babe, she looked at me, she said, you're tired, take the day off. Don't get out of bed. I was like, no, I need to go to work. You know, we have so many things we're trying to do. She's like, no. I said, lay down and don't move. That's the balance that I need.
Yes.
Because having her not say that, I'd be on my way to work in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Literally, I've been working all week. I've worked 7 days. I haven't had not one off day. I've been working.
But I think it's just being a person who just know go, go, go. You know, like I mean, you, Erica, you know for sure because like you transition once overseas is done, you go into WNBA. Yes. You know, and I've had that. I've experienced that when I had the national team 505, then I had 3-on-3 national team, and then I literally had only 2 weeks off of my life before I started the new season. You know, so knowing a person who does go, 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 and how exhausting not only physically but mentally it can be on your body, like I know, and it's like tell my wife like, hey, stop, like you don't need it. Like I know you want to grind and you feel like you gotta grind, but you got a whole wife with you. Like you don't need to work that hard because now, you're doing this, but you also have a partner to help you with that, so you're not alone. So that's when she's able to be like, you're right, okay, and can breathe, and that way she's fully rested for the next day when she do go to work instead of always going to work half rested.
That's beautiful. Love it. Well, thank you guys. This has been an amazing conversation. And before we leave, I like to ask this one question. So it's a story of the day. I like to ask, what has been your guys' craziest overseas experience, individually or collectively? You guys can share. I know I get different stories every time I ask everyone. The last episode, I told everyone about my Hungarian boyfriend. So that was my craziest overseas experience. So I want to hear you guys, what you guys have been through, and just tell everyone, what that experience was like for you guys.
Okay, babe, you go first.
I mean, for me, I think it would be, I was my maybe, I want to say second or third year overseas. I was playing in year. Mm-hmm. And my flat was right next to my gym. So when I got in the car, of course, I didn't put my seatbelt on. Like I'm literally going down the street and I'm driving, and like I see as I'm going north, the police cruiser was going south, and like overseas they got the Audis, and we kind of like looked at each other, and I'm just like, now black people see police, you just keep going, like please don't turn around. Yeah. Audi buses a U-turn and pulls me over, and I'm like, fuck, like I don't even get pulled over States. Yeah. This is my first time. I'm pulled over overseas. He's like, what do I say? What do I do? So then I'm like, okay, fuck. Obviously, I don't have my seatbelt on, so this is probably what. So he pulls me over and he comes up, and I don't know what to hand him. I reach and grab everything out the glove department box and give him my license and my passport, and I'm like, this is my club card. And they're looking at everything, and it was like, whose car is this? I'm like, it's my club card. Don't you see the big basketball and the club on the side? Like, come on now. And they're like, okay, well, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to my flat. It's right here. Like literally my gym's there. I'm here. And then they're like, okay, well, you don't have your seatbelt. It's a law. And it was like, isn't it a law in the States? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I'm tired. I'm coming from practice. Like, it's like, okay, well, how much you going to pay us? I said, what is, like, you make good money. I said, I make, okay. He's like, okay, yeah, you're from America. Like, yeah, like how much you going to give us? I said, for what? And they were like, so, we don't give you a ticket. I said, I'm giving you nothing. I said, give me a ticket. My club will pay for it. And they was like, no, okay, never mind. Just next time wear your seatbelt, or, we'll write you a ticket. I'm like, well, next time, like, just give me a ticket. I'm not going to give you money. And I got
That's crazy. Yeah.
I sped off like an idiot too. But to me, that was like craziest thing that ever happened. Like I was like, every time I tell that story, people are like, that's crazy.
That's my biggest fear, is being pulled over overseas, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what their
I didn't know what to hand. I gave them
are. Yeah, I'm like, I'm American. That's I'm American. I'm sorry. What about for you, Jess?
Usually, if they see you're American, they don't really like mess with you like that. But for some reason, I think they thought they can give one over.
Yeah.
Okay. I can answer this one. Babe was doing the tournament that just recently passed for in Debrecen for the Olympics. They were doing the Olympic qualifications, and she, I was alone in Debrecen, and so I was hungry, and I found a restaurant, and they were treating me really mean in there. Like, and I called Babe. I was like, I don't speak the language. I don't know. But they were like, you can't eat in here. That's all I know. They was like, you can't eat here or whatever. And then I went to the one next door, and it was like, we're closing, but they were still taking orders for other people. So then I went to the one right after that, And the guy was really nice. He was like, come in, you can eat here. It's fine. You can sit at the bar. And it wasn't an issue. So I don't know. I felt like I was dealing with racism a little bit.
Wow. Yeah. Which is...
they were looking at me crazy. I had my natural afro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. I felt out of place for the first time in Europe. I never felt that way. Because every time I'm with my wife, I feel safe. I feel great. Like she's my leader.
Yeah.
I follow her. And then to have to go somewhere without her in an unknown place and get treated as if I can't eat it was horrible. I literally cried.
Wow. I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Baby.
Yeah, because in Hungary, I've felt very comfortable too. Especially Hungary is a country where there's not a lot of diversity, mainly just European white people. So and you just stick out like a sore thumb being a Black person out there.
Sure.
But I've always had great experiences. But again, I've lived in Czechoslovakia where it's a small town and they're very accepting. So I'm sorry you had to experience that in Hungary. But I mean, racism.
It was in Debrecen.
Okay, in Debrecen. Okay. Yeah, I mean, racism.
It depends on what area you're in. Because I know in Mishko, like those people that's a little bit more north,
Yes.
It's close to, Romania, a lot of gypsies. But like it also depends on where you are in Hungary, and who you're dealing with. You never find the younger people that act like that. It's always the older.
Exactly.
It was older.
Yeah. And that just shows, racism exists everywhere. It's worldwide. Yeah. And so
she had a good time in Debrecen, though.
I did.
Yes, it was just that experience.
But the question was my bad experience, and that happened to be it.
Yeah.
Minus everything else.
Yeah.
Because then all of baby's friends, came around and started showing me a good time after that. I started hanging out with other people and that played on the team, that knew the team.
They got on that palinka.
That palinka. Okay. For those who don't know, palinka is it's Hungarian liquor. It's like equivalent to Russian vodka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I was like moonshine.
You literally grow hair on your chest after you take a shot of it. So
like moonshine, Hungarian
highly
moonshine.
Suggested. Yes, Hungarian moonshine. That's exactly what
I will have some when I get there in November, October.
Ooh, girl, take a shot from me. I have a whole bottle right here in my apartment right now. And it is, I took a shot of it one time. I thought it was high, not even drunk.
It's something else. I had 3 shots. It's something else for sure.
It hits you differently. It really does.
It does.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys, man. This was a lot of fun. I thank you guys for having me on.
Course.
I love your guys' relationship. That's why I wanted to have you guys come and share your experiences. So I appreciate you. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And Cy, good luck. You guys know I'm always rooting for you, rooting for Sex Art, rooting for you personally. So, and Jess, always rooting for you to do your thing.
Unfortunately, I have a hair appointment in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so it's perfect timing. Thank you guys, and I'll see you.
Okie dokie, bye. Thank you, Erica.